Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight. Between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
We'll fight till the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction.
Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are quick. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna say now, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can in one final shot.
We gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Start your engines!
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome in to High Side Motorsports Season 2 for Round 8 here as we go road course racing for 3 stages of hell out at Sonoma Raceway. It's Hamish Munro here with you once again as we're now set for our 7-round run to the end of the season. It's the second half of the season and there's no more breaks until we get out the other side of the Charlotte Classic come season's end. This is going to be a tough task for drivers who are all used to running with left-hand turns, full pace, full fury. They're now going to have to test themselves with braking zones and right-hand turns around this wondrous Sonoma Cup layout as well. Having a quick look at where we currently sit for the championship, of course. As we said, this is now the second half of the season. We are running, which I'll correct myself, we're running for the next 9 rounds in a row, no breaks in between any of them. It is all on the line for those that want to make it into the chase across the next 4 rounds. We take a break for the in-season tournament this week before Richmond next week, where it'll be back underway with the semi-finals. And the finals will take place at the Frogman 150 at Homestead, Miami, before the final round of the regular season, Rocket City 170 at Talladega Super Speedway. The chase then begins on August 9th for Chicagoland, Watkins Glen, the Marchaham 250 at Bristol Motor Speedway, Safe Electric and Plumbing 150 at Phoenix Raceway, and the Charlotte Classic at the start of September will set us up at the end of the season. This is going to be a fun one tonight, though, looking at how the championship points currently stack up. We find ourselves with Kevin Rinker leading the way on 371 points, well in the lead and well locked into, it feels, to a chase position. Will McKellar, Charles Rinker, then the top 3, ahead of Mike Rinker, Bailey Brannon, the top 5. Justin Day, Rob Stevens Jr., Magnus Anderson, Nick Mercer, and Zach Smathers makes up the top 10 at the moment. Damon Murata, Cody Pruitt, they are the last 2 cars in the top 12. It's the 12 drivers that will move on to the chase at season's end. There's still an opportunity for some drivers to sneak their way in with some good performances across tonight and the next 3 rounds as well. We'll see, though, who can stack the deck in their favour. Thinking about the team's championship, well, the pay-to-win strategy of 325 Motorsport, that's working out for them. 1,142 points at the moment, leading Infinity Motorsport on 806 points in P2 with Hobnobber Racing in P3, to Hammer Down Motorsports in P4, Bucket Motor Club in P5, with Corman Racing, RC Motors 132 Enterprises and Velocity Racing Team making up the back end of the point standings at this stage as well. This is going to be an interesting one, though, throughout tonight, and one that everyone should be excited for, in my opinion. Let's look at this wondrous circuit, though, for Sonoma Raceway here in California on the west coast of the US and in the grasslands of San Francisco. This circuit is one that will test drivers. It's tested them across a multitude of different categories on the iRacing service. Normally through officials, including supercars, GR86s and GT3 racing as well. But it is no stranger to NASCAR Cup Series road course racing, of course. It all starts on our main stretch in the lead up towards turn 1. The fast uphill run where you've got to try and keep the car as steady as possible up into the braking zone of turn 2. It's a very, very difficult braking zone there. You're slightly off camber as you then start to turn into the corner. The car wants to dip out on you as it rolls over the hill and begins the downward descent towards 3A and turn 3 and 3A, where through that chicane you've got to keep the car tight through the right-handed, not let it run too wide because you don't want to end up on the grass on the other side. It's a blind crest as you come up over the hill at 3A. You don't want to come out on that other side facing the wall or facing the grass and putting yourself under pressure. We then run down towards turn 4A down at Toyota Corner, where you get a nice wide berth to run out to and extending the track through that corner. Then up the run towards 7 and 7A, where, well, really it is actually 7A that you look to, that hairpin before the run down the back stretch. Through the S's at 8 and 8A, down through turn 9, and then the turn 10 kink, which can often throw out a whole heap of dramas for drivers who might have steering failures through this corner that then leads them to making some mistakes. Then through turn 11 at the end of the circuit, the sharp hairpin that can often throw out a lot of different opportunities for moves, but also a lot of opportunities for mistakes to be made as well. That's a section where drivers are going to have to be cautious. And then the final kink at turn 12, you've got to be careful at the inside of the corner. There's a bump there that will spit this car out like a raging bull. So you've got to keep it under you and keep yourself in control all throughout to maintain your consistency across the laps here at Sonoma tonight. 50 laps will be running. Lap 10 will be stage 1. Lap 25 will be stage 2. No stage break cautions here tonight either, so that's going to throw a little bit of strategy into it. The critical lap this evening is between lap 32 and lap 33 on your fuel. So you've got to try and strategize around that. There is a capability of doing a 2-stop here this evening, so drivers who've pre-planned their fuel strategies, they'll know that. Those that haven't, they're going to have to be cautious and careful because they may end up in hot water if they haven't pre-planned for it. It was opened back in 1968. This layout's been used ever since 2001 with a bit of a refresh in the last few years to maintain it up to modern standards. 3.2 kilometers, 1.9 miles in the local language of the US of A. 12 turns for a clockwise direction. That pit entry is going to be a hellacious one this evening. It's incredibly tight to run between those walls through the hairpin for the pit entry, and then you slowly run up around the dog leg before you exit right on the racing line, it feels, off the exit of turn 1. As we look to qualifying though, and as drivers have now prepared themselves for their qualifying session as well, they've prepped and readied themselves here for the first run here this evening. Let's see what sort of lap times they're going to be starting to get here in the qualification process. Charles Rinker is currently out there. He's been fast through practice all over the across the last 2 weeks, so he'll be hoping to put a lap together, and you'll just see how tough this place can be in this Gen 6 Cup car. I drove the car only last week, and it is a very, very difficult setup. It feels incredibly loose and ferocious on you, and you know, they say you've got to try and tiptoe it around the circuit, but at times if you make a single mistake, it almost feels like you're tiptoeing over a sinkhole, and that one wrong piece of pressure is going to sink you into the ground and put you possibly into the wall tonight as well. As Charles comes around the final corner, what is the lap time going to be for him in his first run here in qualifying? Up to P2, wildcard entry, Austin Cole has pipped him by over a second and 4/10 to P1. Austin Cole, we know what sort of pace he has on road courses, running as a wildcard here this season for these races. Good to see him up the order already here in qualifying. Cody Pruitt to P3, Jonathan Day, Robert Stevens, Nick Mercer, Justin Day, Austin Stamper all getting their times in as well. We watch for Will Kern as he crosses the line. Another wildcard entry tonight as well. Drove very strong last season at the road courses. He goes to P2 with a 1:16.6 out there as well. Paul Harris is looking to get a qualifying time in. Kevin Winker is not at the moment. Neither is Bailey Brannon, Blake Hullett, Dalton Henson, Mike Rinker, Nate Owen, and Zach Smathers at this stage of the race. Although Bailey Brannon does have an EOL penalty for previous issues back at Kansas. It would have been a stage break penalty tonight, stage break EOL, but of course there are no cautions for the stage breaks, so he has to take it at the beginning of the race, which means no qualifying for him. Certain drivers are struggling already to put their laps together. Trey Martin has struggled to keep it on the road up on his second attempt. That'll end his qualifying, and this may lead to him starting lower down the order than what he would have liked. Paul Harris yet to set a time in qualifying as well, so they've got a little bit of work to do to put it all together here. Charles Rinker, though, finds himself P2 at this stage. Merceau has now also followed him into P3. Will Kern, though, does he have good enough pace to put this car up the order? We have got more than 11 cars on circuit tonight, I do promise you that. It's that not all of them have actually set a lap time here in qualifying just yet. As Magnus Anderson goes up to P5. Will Kern will cross the line to end out his qualifying. Where will it put him? It'll put him up to P2 with a 1:16 dead in his final attempt. Will McKellar looking to find some lap time as well on board the 92 car at the back end of the circuit. He's just coming through 7 there. You see how loose it's getting for them. Super, super loose as they try and keep the car together, but they're really struggling. Here is Will McKellar, Dalton Henson as well, trying to just keep this thing in control as best they can. As Henson will come around, we will give you an onboard lap if you like, Jackals, as you're watching in the chat and talk you through it as well. So trying to run up to top gear here up towards turn 1, then getting the brakes in, blip the throttle if you can, and get it up and down towards to second gear for turn 2. And keep it in nice and tight as best you can, but you see there it just doesn't want to stick. Up towards third gear now for turn 3 as well. Again, try and hook it to the inside. You can do a little short shift in between, put it down to second to get a bit of power down off the exit as well. Up the gear once again to third gear once more for turn 4, braking it and getting it tucked in, letting it ride out a bit wider. And then up towards turn 7A, where you try and put it down to second once again. You shouldn't be running first gear, if any at all, around this circuit. You can maybe run it for turn 11, but you're much less likely to. Up the gears once again, just trying to feather this car through the S's of turn 8 and 8A and keeping it under you as best you possibly can. And up towards turn 9 and then into the dreaded kink. You want to get this car up to third gear through here, full force through this corner, a little bit of lift just to keep it under you. Manages to get the car through there and then down to second gear for turn 11. Tuck it in tight, keep the car nice and tidy. You see that's why you don't want to run first gear. It gets a little bit too slow on the entry. Puts the power down once again and up through turn 12. Careful the inside here where the bump is. There you see it. Just unsettling the car a little bit and across the line. Henson will put the lap together. The lap time's good enough for P12. There's for Dalton. Interesting. Jackal's apparently used a first gear in a few corners here, 15.5. Oh, I see, Jackal's. An actual onboard lap with me. No, that is not a fun time. That's not a time that you wish to be experiencing. I do promise you that for today's race. But we'll see what the final laps in qualifying are going to bring us here. John Day has not managed to better his time of a 1:17.4. Trey Martin did not get a lap time in qualifying. Kevin Rinker has actually not gone out on track yet to set his time. Neither has Blake Collett, neither has Zach Smathers, Nato, and Mike Rinker or William McKellar. Although McKellar has run a single lap, but he did not get any time in. So that's put some struggle towards himself. So he'll have work to do now in the race to find his way forward. The difficulty is going to be, right, it's not necessarily if you have the pace, as Henson puts it in the wall. It's going to be if you can actually keep it clean. That is going to be the big challenge. Keeping the car clean, keeping it tidy, and keeping it neat. That is where the true challenge is going to lay this evening for Sonoma. You've got to keep the car under you and keep it neat and tidy. Because ultimately, the rest of the field may struggle to do so. So you could find yourself with some free positions gained simply by keeping the car as neat and tidy as possible all throughout the race session as well. Remember, you've got to do 50 laps. This will be one of the quickest races of the season. Of course, with no auto cautions, which means that race controller Brian Pavocic will have to call cautions manually, and he's really only going to call them if there's A, pile up, or B, someone has absolutely destroyed their car into the wall up at the turn 11 kink, or possibly down in towards turn 4. So that's where that's going to offer a little bit of difficulty for drivers to maybe strategize around cautions being brought on the circuit, but that means it will favor those that understand road course strategy and how you actually strategize racing around a road course as well. So we'll see how well that will pan out for the majority of drivers here this evening. Austin Cole obviously is going to be tough to beat though with that pace of a 1:15.5. Kern's going to be tough to beat with a 116 dead, although Charles Rinker has managed to put the fight to him with that 16-1 at this point in time. I don't necessarily, though, see those Toyotas dropping much pace throughout this race or dropping much of a mistake throughout this race either that will take them out of proper contention later on in the race. So we'll see how well they do. We'll see how well they put it together. Qualifying is coming to an end here, and we'll see. We'll ask you guys. We'll see what your thoughts are out in the chat. We'll start our first poll of the night. Can Austin Cole, can he dominate once again here on the road course and take another road course win? Remembering he took a road course win, a very solid one back at Watkins Glen last season. Can he do the same thing here today out at Sonoma Raceway, or is anyone going to be able to challenge him? Can a Will Kern challenge him? Will the mistake be made from Austin that'll then give the opportunity to somebody else to challenge him as well? Only time will tell. Let's have a quick look at our starting grid, though, and see where the drivers are lining up for tonight's race. It's an all-Toyota front row of the grid. Austin Cole, Will Kern will start out there on P1 and P2. To row 3 in behind them, we'll find ourselves with Charles Rinker and Nick Mercero then for the top 4. In behind for row 3, we have Magnus Anderson and Cody Pruitt then for the top 6 cars on the grid order. There you see the target livery of Cody Pruitt after many hits have been found his way over the last few rounds of the season. Row 4, it's then Justin Day and Jonathan Day alongside each other for the top 8 to row 5 and the top 10 in behind them. With then 5, Robert Stevens Jr. and Brian Day. All the Days getting into the top 10. We'll see if it's a daydream for them or if it's a nightmare for them here at Sonoma. To the top 12 and row 6, we then look towards Jesse James and Dalton Henson alongside each other as well. So it's pretty solid qualifying for those guys to put themselves into that grid order. Row 7, it's then Austin Stamper and Steve Scarborough for the top 14 to row 8. And behind them, we find Paul Harris and Bailey Brannon, although Bailey will have to start from the end of line because of his previous penalty that has been applied from Kansas as well. To row 9 and behind them, it will be Kevin Winker and Will McKellar alongside each other. No qualifying from the 325 Racing guys. Neither for Mike Rinker or Blake Hullett in behind them as well. To row 11, it's then Nate Owen and Trey Martin for the top 22. And Zach Smathers not starting this race. Unfortunately, he's been ill recently, but he's in the session. He may just be watching, trying to help his team out throughout this race. Time will tell if that is going to be the case for him. Austin Cole, though, we know how dominant he is on road courses. We know how good he is as well. Last season's champion was here for the All-Star race back at Martinsville. So he'll be hoping to do this as best he can, of course. Andy in the chat, they're saying, brother was leading the pack when he lapped me in Friday's ARCA race. I hope Zach can make it in, but this will be a sweet race to see. I've not seen this before. Well, great to have you watching along. Great to have Joe Dyson out there as well. Jesse James is giving us the Austin SVG call line for Austin Cole before he starts tonight's race as well. As we said, stage laps, well, 10 will be the stage end for stage 1, then 25 will be the stage end for stage 2. No stage cautions automatically applied this evening. So that means that unless someone wrecks on the stage end, we're going to see it stay green off of it as well going forward. So let's see how this pans out for them, though. Pace Truck will lead them down the back section of the circuit through the S's and up towards the hairpin. And this is now going to be important to set up your race start properly. For a rolling start here in a stock car, this is not going to be an easy task because you have to have prepared yourself for not only the final corner and keeping the car clean, but also for turn number 1 and turn number 2 in the braking zone through there. We may see absolute chaos off this race start if drivers have not prepared themselves properly. We could see it stay mean and green through that section of circuit as well, but time will tell truly who is going to reap the benefits here. The Sonoma Cup short layout for this round of the season. Pace Truck will come in. Austin Cole, Will Kern will get control of the field for the green flag start here this evening out at Sonoma. It's road course action once again for High Side Motorsports. What sort of dramas a right-hand turns and braking zone's going to bring to the championship standings leading towards the chase in a few weeks' time. Green flag in the restart zone, and it's green flag tonight as Austin Cole gets us underway. Kern immediately puts the pressure on him up towards turn number 1. Into the braking zone, they ride towards turn 2. Can they keep it clean through the second corner? Very difficult section of circuit. It appears everyone's going to make it through neat and tidy. That's a great effort from them. Up through 3 and 3A now. Cole's breaking away though from Kern as everyone flows in behind. Can they keep themselves in check and keep themselves on the tarmac? You bet they can. That's a great effort off the race starting now through 4A. Can they keep it out of that wall, that very precious wall on the outside? You see a couple of drivers running it wide there, riding that wide line. Good to see them though, have kept it clean as Cole now, great race start, up by a second over Will Kern. And then there's a solid move for him to push on off of this race start. A phenomenal effort from Austin Cole. Had 6 votes in that call for pole there of Austin Cole. Can he dominate this race and take another road course win? 67% of you think he can, 33% of you think he can't. Great to have you all involved and watching along as well. Keep an eye out on the chat for those polls this evening. You want to see you get involved, see you enjoy yourselves in the chat with us as well, and chat away throughout tonight's race too. You see Paul Harris now just getting out of the way of Brannon and Rinker. They're going to get by him down at turn 12. Nice clean green start here for the race, and everyone has kept themselves neat and tidy. See though for Will Kern and Charles Rinker, a bit of work to do there to try and chase down Austin Cole as Cody Pruitt has gone off the road down at turn 3, but he's managed to get it back on the tarmac fairly swiftly. That has worked out well for him as a couple of drivers still running it wide, including Kevin Winker. And there you see Blake Hullerdazole struggling further down the order too, so the back markers are just starting to struggle here on the road courses. See Trey Martin tend to be trying to get past some of these drivers and keep that car nice and tidy up towards the braking zone of turn 7. Martin to the inside. Hullard on the outside. Can he keep it and make it stick? Oh, side by side through the S's now up towards turn 8 and turn 8A. Hullard will hang on. And a great move to remain in position there. As you see now, Jesse James and Will McKellar battling away. McKellar struggled in qualifying to put the lap together. James didn't. See James though backing out of it, wants to keep this car clean and keep it in the race to the very end. That's smart racing and smart driving for James there as Rob Stevens Jr. battles with Brian Day at the moment. Got Jonathan Day, Nick Mercereau just up the road from them. Keeping these cars as neat and tidy as possible. Great to see the sort of battle and accurate that they're putting into place here this evening as well. As Jonathan Day leads this small pack of cars. And there you see Brian Davis running it out a little bit tighter of that previous corner. Keep his car in check as best he possibly can. So ride through 7A once more. But fast lap of the race, ironically, is not Austin Cole. It's actually Charles Rinker who's done a 1:16.15 over his previous attempt here to start out the race. So he's found some pace, but he's actually lost some time here to Austin Cole, who I think has begun to put the jets on across this lap. But it doesn't matter for Rinker to get fastest lap of the race. He needs consistent fast laps if he wants the race win. Okay to do it one off as Kevin Winker has put it in the wall down at turn 8. Kevin Winker has gone hard into the wall down there. That car has got massive damage. Let's see what's happened to him. So as he comes through, you see it get loose and straight in the barrier. And there's been another moment as well as Bailey Brannon has also gone in the wall. So more and more drivers getting caught out here by the dramas of the tyre, whereas Brannon wanted to go up the inside of Mike Rinker. He came on through. You see Dalton Henson in front of him. He loses the rear end, puts it into the barrier. Not much more Brannon could do. Austin Stamper, I believe, flowed on through and behind him. And this has actually built up a little bit of breakaway for the drivers ahead of them, because this has actually held these guys up. So Stamper has come through, trying to get by. There you see, he's had to pull it up right in behind Brannon. Everyone has flowed on by him. And that is a real shame for Bailey Brannon and Austin Stamper, who have been caught up down there at the final hairpin. But Kevin Rinker in pit lane. Not what he wants as McKellen out deals with a slowdown inside of the top 15. You cannot park there, sir. You definitely cannot. But that is going to be one of those big issues of the night for drivers having struggles out there as well. So Rinker is waiting for his toe and then use his fast repair to get that car running once again. He is now exiting out of pit lane, but he is laps down on the race leaders. He's currently 1 lap down on them at this stage of the race. A caution will bring him back into it here today. But remembering, because there's no auto cautions, it has to be a pretty significant incident for that to happen. As Paul Harris now has lost it and gone round at turn 11 as well. So another scenario of tyre wear just starting to break away from underneath them and starting to put the pressure on the drivers now as they struggle to keep the car neat and tidy through the hairpin section. As that's a late dive. That is a late dive. Contact is made. That's brought Harris around. So that explains why he has been caught out there. That was Blake Hullett with a very late dive onto Harris. You see there, maybe he's trying to redress position, but still, that's not going to help Harris in any way. That's dropped him already an extra position than where he previously was. And I think Brian Pavocic, our race controller, will be hard onto them in putting out and applying the rules here this evening. Jonathan Day, though, sitting strong. He's got Nick Mercer on behind him that's right on board. And listen along for the ride up towards turn number 1. And you see them just trying to keep it under them up the hill through turn 2 as well. Brandon struggling with off tracks, as is Justin Day just ahead of them too. So he's had a minor off track through the first sector here. Just trying to keep the car under him though as best he possibly can. Checking in with our race leader Austin Cole. 3.1 seconds is now the gap. Back to Will Kern, who actually has the fastest lap of the race. So 1:15.94 was the last fastest lap set by Will Kern. So he controls and owns the fastest lap award for the moment in tonight's race here for Sonoma. But this is one of our closest battles on track though of Jonathan Day, Nick Mercer, Robert Siemens Jr., Brian Day all involved in this as well. They got Justin Day just at the front end of this battle pack too. Little 5-car tussle as they look to battle away for position. As they're riding in towards turn 11 once again. Got 4 laps to go in stage number 1. Remembering that there's no stage break caution, so they'll just keep on going past that lap 10 marker and push on to the next set of laps, and not only that, push on to what should be our first pit stop of the night. Not too long after that. Cars cannot quite make it to the stage 2 end here this evening. We'll more than likely see them all run it out for those 25 laps roughly towards the stage end, but they cannot quite make it in terms of getting to the lap after the stage break. So they have to try and keep the car neat and tidy, keep the fuel under them, and plan around that with their strategies as well. As we mentioned, critical lap tonight, lap 32/33, depending on your fuel usage. And that is really, the differential marker on that is only a couple hundredths of a gallon per lap burned. That will make the difference for you in terms of making the extra lap work for you in making lap 32 work for you as a critical lap, or making lap 33 work for you as a critical lap as well throughout this race. Into the braking zone of turn 11 again. There you see them all just tentatively trying to get the car pulled up. Joe Dyson saying got to be all brakes, all gas, no brakes with it. Now what he means. It's great to have you all watching along with us, getting involved in the chat as well. Appreciate you all watching along. It's been a fantastic season, and as we said, this is the 9-round run to the end of the season. Bailey Brannan has come into pit lane. So we've got 9 weeks with you before we get to the end of the season. Mr. Goodest boy Jesse James at the moment's running down 2 positions in P13, but running clean. That's the important part for Jesse James. He's keeping it neat and tidy. He's got the lap traffic of Kevin Rinker in behind him. And he is pushing on once again. We've had some logs from race control. And I think there might just be watching along possibly. And just noting down what incidents have been happening throughout this race. But yes, Jesse James running very strong here at the moment in P13. He's running strong too. I mean, keeping it neat and tidy. The car looks clean. He's kept it out of the wall thus far, which is great to see for Jesse. And as I said, keeping himself in check here tonight as well. Brandon has now exited pit lane off of his first stop. It was on lap 7 of the race that he pitted. So it's an early stop, so he's actually committed himself now to a 3-stop strategy, because the earliest point you can stop to make it home is roughly lap 13 or 14. That's the first stop. That's the first check marker on the form you have to fill out to get this done in a 2-stop strategy. Other than that, a 1-stop, well, an early stop before lap 10 is not going to help you, and because of the fact that there isn't a stage break caution coming at lap 10, that stop is not going to help Bailey at all. That's actually going to drop him a lot of time, because he's now going to have to take an extra pit stop comparatively to the rest of the field, as he is struggling back here in behind Will Kern, who sits very comfortably in P2 at the moment. But yeah, Brannon just really struggling out here today. I haven't made them yet for the I haven't made them yet, Jack, for the Gen 6 Cup car. I'm going to have to do them in the off-season in between. See, Trey Martin's making a move there on Blake Hullett as well, so he'll now move up 3 into P19. Good move for Trey there. Brian Day being put under pressure here from Will McKellar, who struggled in qualifying but has found his race pace and racecraft here. He's up 8 positions into P10, and McKellar is on a strong run through the field and pushing that car forward as well. He's done a great job in keeping this thing in check, keeping it nice and tidy throughout this race. Can he hang on to it towards the end of stage number 1? We've got 1 lap to go. This is the final lap of stage 1. Austin Cole, dominant as ever. Pole position tonight. Has led every single lap of this race. He'll have a little bit of a lock up through turn 11, but he'll keep the 18 Camry neat and tidy through the final challenge. As across the line, he is the stage 1 winner on lap 10 as stage 2 begins. Will Kern will come home in P2. Charles Rinker will come home in P3 ahead of Magnus Anderson out of P4, and a great run for him. Cody Pruitt will come home inside of the top 5 for stage 1. A great drive for Pruitt there. Jonathan Day gets out the other side of that battle, but this is contested now for the back end of for the top 10 here for the stage. John Day ahead of Rob Stevens Jr. Will McKellar has gotten past Brian Day down at turn 11, so that's made a change for the points at the end there of stage number 1. It was Cole to Kern, Rinker, Anderson, Pruitt, Day, Stevens, McKellar and Brian Day. The top 10 in the points for stage number 1. As Justin Day's had a minor off track up at turn 3. That is going to cost him massively. Look at the lingering cars in behind as John Day gets by him. Rob Stevens Jr. will sneak up the inside as well down at turn 4. This is a hairy spot to make it happen. Will McKellar too? Is it going to be a late break? Manoeuvring towards turn 7. Can McKellar get that move made? He's trying to get the pound out as best he can, but you just see them getting it loose off of the throttle mapping. McKellar gets that job done, and a great move as he pushes this car forward here tonight. Move to be made though, but a solitary mistake, a single mistake from Justin Day has cost him massively. 3 positions lost in the span of half a lap. That is the importance of keeping the car on the tarmac and keeping it nice and neat and tidy throughout the race proceedings here this evening. My God, that was close to being hellacious, but luckily for Justin, he keeps rolling on. That was a great little spur of a battle between those drivers. So with stage 2 underway, The battles continuing on here out at Sonoma Raceway. We're lap 2 of 25. And I'm going to correct myself here. I've made mistakes all night, all season at times. Just not actually selecting the right stage number. But we're going to lap 25. The second stage is 15 laps long here this evening. We will get a 25 lap run to the end of the race here this evening after this one. And for John Day, giving this car tidy now a bit better than what Justin did just previously. That's what's important on the top of the list for him. As we'll see if anyone's going to be coming into pit lane, although Austin Stamper has gone off the road down at turn 2, so that's a struggle for him. We'll see if anyone comes into pit lane now that we've hit lap 13, because this is the point of the race where you can pit to get your car home. As Trey Martin's run wide down there, trying to get by Austin Stamper, I believe, although he may have just had a wide berth because he's run it wide, and that's exactly why. Runs it wide, off the road it goes. I thought maybe he was trying to go around the outside, but no. Just ran it deep, ran it wide, and now under the pressure and the clutches of the likes of Will Kern and Austin Call, we've now gotten by him and put him a lap down in this race. Take a bit of work to get back up onto the lead lap at the end of this one. Stevens Jr. though continues in this battle. They've red flagged the real race out at Atlanta for lightning. Very interesting. Very, very interesting that race has now been red flagged because of some lightning. Of course, they can't go racing in the rain. As Bailey Brannan has had another moment down at turn 11. And this one looks to be self-inflicted for the 6th entry. Let's have a look what's happened to him down here. So into the braking zone of 10-11. Locks up the rear end. Massive compression lock. Car goes around. Luckily he didn't fully loop it. But yeah, just trying to keep it neat and tidy as best he can. Justin and Brian Day now into pit lane. Blake Hullen into pit lane as well. So some early stoppers here. Some drivers did their homework. Jesse James into pits now for an early stop in this race. We'll see if any of them are actually taking tyres or if this is only going to be a fuel stop for them. Hullett gets out in 15 seconds. That is a tyre and fuel stop for him. Justin and Brian Day into pit lane as well. Bailey Fujiwara out there. See, tyres going on board those cars. There's tyres going on board the day cars. What about Jesse James? Will he take tyres or will it only be fuel for the 17? It is fuel only going on board that car, so he's relying on the tyre wear to stay under him. Paul Harris, Trey Martin, they're in as well. So early stops here. Undercut strategy could play out for some of those drivers, pitting slightly earlier, knowing that this is the earliest point of the race that you can get these cars to critical lap and get them home under the 2-stop strategy. As James will now push on for the rest of this next stint. And Martin and Harris, have they taken tyres? No, it's fuel only on board those cars as well. So they're trying to take an undercut here to not only push the car on to the end of the second stage, but maybe gain some track position out of it. They have now lost a lap to the race leader in Austin Cole, but remember, Cole will have to pit unless he is fuel saved. 2 laps! Who was that just went in the wall? That was Justin Day. That was Justin Day, fresh out of pit lane on the cold tyres, straight into the wall. So the cold tyres have come back to bite them here because they've been running them like they're warm. They're not warm just yet, and it's gone straight in the barrier after a massive snap across the top of the crest. So that's a tough moment there for Justin Day. It's a big loss for him at this stage of the race. That'll drop him out of the corrected top 10 here out at Sonoma. That is a horrid, horrid moment for him, must be said. A tough one for him to deal with, I'm sure. We've got 10 laps to go in stage stage 2, sorry. Frost and Cole. He has now, a little bit of fuel saving will go a long way for this car. John Day into pit lane, by the way, too. A bit of fuel saving will go a long way for this car, because if he could fuel save 2 laps, it'll take him to the end of the stage and to a point that he can pit before he has to get to that critical lap of lap 33. Now, remembering the stage results end at lap 25. It's not the start of lap 25, it's the end of lap 25. On a regular fuel run, you can get to the end of lap 25. You cannot then get any further because you'll be left with 0.2 of a gallon in the car. Austin Cole is in. So the race leader has made a determination and a call that he has to come in now. Will Kern will continue on. There's been an incident further back though. Kevin Rinker, Paul Harris have both exited off the track down at turn 3. They've brought themselves back on pretty tidily though. But a messy moment down there for those drivers just trying to keep their cars as neat and tidy as they possibly can. Cole will now run through pit lane. That is the significance of the gap that he had though. For the likes of Will Kern to Charles Rinker, it's about 13, 14 seconds. It was a little bit further than that for Austin Cole up there, who has been running super, super strong all night, and right now it looks unbeatable here in this road course affair out at Sonoma. In behind him as well, Will McKellar has come into pit lane. Cole exits, has taken tyres on that stop. He'll come out right alongside Mark Rinker and Nick Mercero. So a little bit of pressure for Austin Cole. But he'll keep pushing on here. He'll keep driving. He'll keep moving. But that was a very close moment. He actually got the move made on Rinker after that too. So, yeah, for Cole, it's a great job and a great strategy call for him. Will Kern now into pit lane as well. So now the previous race leader's in. What does Charles Rinker and Magnus Anderson do? They stay out for the moment. They keep pushing on. And they keep ticking away at trying to get these cars further and further up the order and up the road. And they'll keep pushing on. What they've got to be careful of is, though, this undercut. For those drivers ahead of them that have pitted, who've taken some tyres, if they get the tyres up to temperature, they're going to have a much better tyre advantage going forward towards the next stop of the race. So this is now going to be a pretty crucial time for those drivers to keep the cars underneath them and keep themselves in check throughout the next portion of this race, as Mike Rinker now into pit lane as well. So Austin Cole moves up into P4. He has now got, is that an 11-second lead over Will Kern? No, it's not. Will Kern's come straight into pit lane, running behind him, but he's nearly lost the rear up through turn 3. The cold tyres have nearly snapped away from him down there. That is a huge, huge mistake for Will Kern. It is going to drop him massive time now to Austin Cole. That was a very, very close moment for him as Charles Rinker has run it wide down at the kink. That car is struggling. There you see Magnus Anderson now comes in as well. This is going to be a wild ride for Charles Rinker down here. Absolutely wild ride through the kink. Just a wide berth, trims some of the weeds as Henson and Scarborough are now into pit lane. As Nate Owen has had a moment on the main straight. That car's gone round and it's blocking the track. That car has gone round down there. That was very, very close to being hit. This is what happened to Nate. So he had Justin Day in behind him. Was there contact or has he caught the bump? He's caught the bump. The bump of death through turn 12 put him straight in the wall. And that was very, very close for Cody Pruitt to make contact with Nate Owen. Very, very close indeed. And Owen's actually got some big damage. Dalton Henson now has gone around. He's gone round. So the fresh tyre runners are starting to struggle here on cold tyres. And look at the drift of Henson through turn 3. Unbelievable. And that car broken away under the braking zone. So Nate Owen will bring the car into pit lane. Luckily, he's not pitted yet. So this will give him an excuse to come in and get that car pulled up as Henson is nursing the car around now once again. Cody Pruitt into pit lane. This will give Austin Cole the race lead back once again. There he is. So Cole will take the lead here of the race. So Pruitt, Rob Stevens, Nick Mercer all in. And Rinker's gone wide again down at the kink. So he is starting to struggle down there. That has now lost him a position to Magnus Anderson, who's come up his inside. So Charles Rinker is struggling on the cold tyres and the cold rubber. And that is just beginning to drop them a little bit of pace now in this one. So 3 cars in behind. They'll take the stops. Cody Pruitt will now exit pit road and will remain inside of the top 5. He's got a good gap over Will McKellar. There he is, heading up this battle with Brian Jonathan Day as well, and Mike Rinker at the back end of it. Rob CVG and Nick Mercer will look to exit pit lane in behind them and get involved in this battle as well. It's a decent move for those drivers just to push on. They've pushed on very, very strong at this stage though. Although ahead of them, Nick Mercer has gone off in behind, so that's an off track for him. Brian Day had been off too. But again, cold tyres. That's what drivers are struggling with right now, is these cold tyres. They're not letting them get up to temperature before they push on again. Austin Cole now, fast lap of the race, 155.77 the last time by, as Dalton Henson is off the road again. This time it's down at the kink. Oh, did not want to pull up. Barely pulled it out of the wall. As Kevin Winker now back into pit lane. Blake Hullett, Nate Owen has been given a black flag, I believe, for speeding in pit lane the last time by. So he'll come back in now to commit to the drive-through. As Kevin Winker comes in for his next stop of the race. Still, though, he'll need another stop, so himself and Bailey Brannan have now committed to the 3-stop strategy here this evening. Cole with some great pace at the front end, but this battle's heating up with Jonathan Day and Brian Day taking on Mike Rinker and in amongst this fight as well. This is at the back end of the top 10, P7 through P9. What makes up this battle at this stage. We've got Magnus Anderson, Charles Rinker still running closely together as well up in P3, but they're not really battling, they're also working together further up the order. Oh, it's rough, Andy. It's real rough. Real rough for these cars. It is a very, very tough combination. Not one that I would necessarily recommend to you to, it takes a lot of tenacity to tackle this circuit in these cars. As Bailey Brannan has gone off once again. That is going to drop him positions now in this race. Remembering that he also needs to take an extra stop tonight because of that early pit stop back on lap 7. That is an unfortunate mistake that's been made from Bailey at this stage. Let's watch back here how this happened. So he comes through the S's on the switchback, loses the rear, pulls it up though without putting it in the wall. That's a good sign from him, but yeah, that's an unfortunate move for Brandon to make such a mistake. And now he's got Justin Day hot on his heels, and then Jesse James a little bit further back chasing him down, plus the race leader of Austin Cole in between them all. What we're going to do is we are going to ride on board with Austin Cole for the next 2 laps in the Rinker Construction Remodeling Crank It Up segment of the evening. So don't go anywhere. We're going to enjoy this onboard lap for the RCR Crank It Up segment, and then we're going to go to an ad break. We are 3 laps away from the end of stage number 2. Let's see what Austin Cole can do in terms of keeping this car under him and keeping it clean here out at Sonoma. So whilst we're on the RCR Crank It Up segment, big thank you to Rinker Construction Remodelling once again for supporting the series. This moment has happened, and a few moments have actually happened in that little stint there. So Cody Pruitt, Paul Harris both had to traverse across turn 8 during that time. Will Kern also had a moment back in P3. He was actually in behind the race leader, Austin Call, at that stage, and made a mistake up and towards turn 2, and that shows that no one is not susceptible to making a mistake out here. Kevin Winker as well, also making a mistake too. We saw him to the left-hand side of screen while we were riding on board with Austin through that segment as well. And you see there, wild snap oversteer through 8A, and that's brought him off the road and then brought him back out the other side of the IndyCar section of the circuit. And then Cody Pruitt had this moment as well up at turn 2. So he comes through the second corner down towards turn 3. Flows it through. Rear end goes around. Dalton Henson style. The car didn't want to pull up. Off the road he went. And Nate Owen as well was really struggling. That car is super, super loose. Cannot pull it up. Massive wiggle through turn 1. Round he goes. And off to the side of the circuit as well. That is a real shame for him there. Austin Cole, though, is going to come round the final corner. He's going to take out the win for stage 2 at the end of lap 25. As Austin Cole is on for a picture-perfect performance here tonight out at Sonoma Raceway. He's won stage 1 and now stage 2. Will Kern's going to come home in P2 to Magnus Anderson much further back, about 20 seconds. As he's about to try and line up this finish for P3 in stage 2 as well. Took advantage of the mistake from Charles Rinker during this stage of the race. Pushes on for a great run to the end there of stage 2. Charles Rinker comes home in P4. Well, McKellar, what a fight he's had this race. Himself and Mike Rinker up 13 and 14 positions respectively between the both of them. They've done an incredible effort, although McKellar locking up into turn 11. Don't give up the position now to your teammate as he wiggles it off the exit there. Mike Rinker behind him as well. They'll come around and pass the restart zone to the line. McKellar will take out P5 in the stage to Mike Rinker, Jonathan Day, Cody Pruitt, and Brian Day, Rob Stevens Jr. at the top 10 for stage number 2. And it is a rough looking combination, as we stated. The Gen 6 Cup car here at Sonoma. It is not a comfortable one. It's one that you've got to wrestle all throughout as well. We're going to take this time to give a quick thanks to everyone who's been watching along with us, but also give a quick thanks as well to the likes of our setup sponsor, Maconi Setup Shop, to iRacing as well for their work too to bring us this sim. Don't go anywhere. Be back very shortly after this very quick ad break here out at Sonoma. Stage 3's begun. What sort of hellacious battle these drivers are going to have to go through, you'll find out over the next 24 laps here at Sonoma.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
We now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
time. We know what we gotta do. Stay in the fight between the walls.
Time to turn the intensity up.
Fight to the end, no matter what happens. Good day to be in victory lane.
Green flag is in the air.
Driving with conviction. Side by side, hammer down.
The after-checks are lit. Count out anybody. Who wants it the most?
We are eyes on the leader now.
He is driving his guts out. Wheel to wheels, they come to the line. Victory this will be.
Nobody wants it more than you.
Next flag is going to end it.
Does he have enough? A dominant performance.
Gonna say no, baby. Let's go.
Can you believe what you are seeing? Everybody pushing as hard as they can get it. One final shot.
Gotta earn this thing right here to the end.
It is all on the table.
A total 500.
Drivers, start your engines!
Great to be back with you, of course, for Sonoma's 3 stages of hell here this evening. For tonight's race out at Sonoma Raceway, Mike Rinker has made a mistake in towards turn 11. And let's see what has happened to him down here. He was following his teammate Will McKellar into the braking zone, came through the kink, got a little bit of a bounce off of the inside curb. Looked to get on the inside, compression locks the rear end, and around it goes, allowing 2 drivers to get past him in Cody Pruitt and Jonathan Day. A very poor mistake there from Mike that could have easily dropped him outside of the top 10. He's still trying to fight on strong here in tonight's affairs out at Sonoma. Bailey Brannan has made another mistake, continuing to struggle to keep that car on the road. We'll see Virginia now on the back of Rinker. John Day, though, still has Cody Pruitt on his heels, and this battle is continuing on within this race. And the game of glory, trying to get yourself up the order in High Side, continues to show some struggle for those drivers on the road course for the regular season. We've got one more road course race to come this season. In fact, that's coming within the Chase out at Watkins Glen International. And the Chase is really going to be an affair of a lot of racing disciplines in the stock car calendar to really test you. With the likes of Chicagoland offering up its own challenge, Watkins Glen of course, and then in the short track of Bristol, and the run through the final 2 rounds as well at Phoenix and Charlotte. That is going to be a 5-round run, and it's going to offer up so many different challenges and nuances for drivers to keep themselves neat and tidy. And we know how chaotic Charlotte was last season. We know how chaotic it was at Charlotte Classic. And it is a race, and it is a race track. I think we can all agree survival is going to be the key factor to victory on that day, as Will McKellar now is struggling to maintain his gap over the likes of John Day and Cody Pruitt in behind him as well. He continues to push on here. It's been a great showing though. A lot of these drivers, we're not too far away from critical laps, so we may actually see some pit stops coming in the next few laps here to push on towards the race end. We've got 20 laps to go now that the race leader has begun this most previous lap. He'll come around and begin lap 32 momentarily. He's not actually too far behind this pack of cars, which continue their battle inside of the top 10. As I was saying, across all 4 disciplines, when there is in fact 5. Yes, the advertisement for iRacing has not been updated to include the fifth discipline. Although I suppose you could still maybe count it as 4 disciplines. It's that there's 2 sub-disciplines of road course racing, as John Day has been served around by Cody Pruitt at turn 3A. Car contact between them has put Jonathan Day off the road on the exit here. And we've got to try and see a much better angle of this if we possibly can. Let's ride on board with Cody to see what has actually happened up the hill with John Day. So he comes in the corner. Oh, and John just slows. He wasn't prepared for the slowing of John's car. Pruitt nowhere to go. Contact made. Off the road goes Jonathan Day. But there's not much more you can really do about it. He didn't have any time to react. He didn't have anything he could possibly do. It's a differential of pace that's put the struggle on him as Austin Cole will now look to try and get by Jonathan Day as well. the race leader here, trying to...
Oh my God, he's trying to get past John Day, but Austin Cole has gone off the road. He's been brake checked into the kink. Austin Cole has been brake checked into the kink by Jonathan Day, and Day's now come into pit lane. That's a huge moment though, because that's now brought Will McKellar into this. But what sort of wear is put on the tyres of Austin Cole after the brake check through the kick there from John Day? And again, it's a differential of pace. Cole can run faster through there. John can't run as fast. John's then just dabbed the brakes, and that has led to this hellacious moment for Austin Cole. We'll go back. We'll watch this along. Then you see him. Oh, no, actually, it wasn't even a brake check. It was he actually caught the curb. Austin caught the curb through the prior turn of turn 9. Got the rear end loose, and it actually snapped in. So that was actually a self-made mistake from Austin Cole there. Shows that he's not necessarily picture perfect. Justin Day's in as well. So we'll retract that. So John Day, actually, he was just an innocent party in that move there. That was Austin Cole's mistake that he made by clipping the curb and getting the car loose. So that's now brought Will Kern straight back into this battle for the race lead. It means that Magnus Anderson, is going to exit this race with a significant gain of points over the rest of the field, of course, knowing that Cole and Kern are not in the championship battle. As Cole comes into pit lane now for his final stop of the race, so you probably want to put some fresh tyres on it, knowing that this is the critical lap here tonight. This will get him home with his fuel burn that he's been running. Headed him as well, Brian Day. In pit lane, Steve Scarborough has been in as well. We'll see if anyone else joins them throughout this run here. Magnus Anderson pushing on in P3. This will put him up to P2. It'll allow him to get past Cole into pit lane, in through the lane now as well. Jesse James will enter here on his 32nd lap of the race. But knowing that he's a lap down on the race leader means he can make it home from this point. This is fine. This mathematically would actually work for him. So this has really given him a little bit of a lifeline here to actually pit slightly earlier. And if we ever get a caution that brings him back on the lead lap, he would in fact actually save enough fuel to get the car home. Charles Rinker, though, a little bit of a mistake in the pit lane. Had to roll it forward slightly just to get the tyres and fuel into it. As the final pit stop of the day is underway, and pit lane is lining up once again with pit stops galore throughout this field. Rinker will exit pit road after taking 4 tyres. Austin Cole actually has a meatball flag. Austin Cole has made a mistake on the exit of pit lane, and it's taken the race leader back to pit lane. That has taken him out of the race lead in a very, very unfortunate moment. We got to find here what has happened to Austin Cole. So the fresh green tyres up through turn 3, caught the curb, straight off the road, bang, straight into the wall. And it shows that anyone can get caught up in it, and you see the damage that's on board that car. He wanted to push it on, but you see there the car is not stable. The front left tyre was hanging off of it, and that is Austin Cole out of a race win. Jonathan Day now into pit lane with a meatball flag as well. So he's also been involved in something that looks to have taken him out of contention for a positive performance here tonight. You see they're getting it loose. Straight in the barrier. Just like Kevin Winker. And it's heartbreak. As Paul Harris has now gotten a black flag coming into pit lane. Speeding into pits for Harris means that he'll have to perform a stop hold here before he can exit. So some meatballs coming at the end of this race. What sort of spanners can the rest of this race throw up to us? What sort of drama can it throw up to us as well towards the end? This is as spicy can get, because now Will Kern is the corrected race leader. He is the race leader, in fact. He's taken his second pit stop, and through sheer consistency, through sheer determination, and through keeping himself in check. He is 15 laps away from a race win here tonight out at Sonoma Raceway. If he makes a mistake though, Magnus Anderson will be right there to pounce upon it. I promise you that. But I am lost for words. I'm actually gobsmacked as, yeah, Charles is back in the lane because he has a black flag. So he has a black flag for speeding in pits. So this is another very interesting moment for Charles Rinker, and I would assume it was speeding at the end of the lane that actually got it for him. So that'll bring him out at the back end of the top 10. That's taken him out of podium contention. And that is a huge mistake for Charles Rinker. Mike Rinker's also got a black flag as well, as does Jonathan Day. So more and more penalties coming out of pit road. This has really thrown it up in the air now. Any mistakes that get made could be not only incredibly costly, they could be deadly to your race. As Rinker will drive through. Will McKellar's run it wide up at turn 2. That drops him a bit of time as Mike Rinker pulls in to the pit lane and takes his stop hole penalty. Austin Call now unfortunately out of this race for him. So those drivers, those people who voted out there who thought Austin would not disconnect or leave the server, and it says out. What is that for Austin Call? Because yeah, he's out of the race. He's disconnected. He's out of the car. Oh yeah, sorry. You answered the question. Yes, it says Austin is out on the scoreboard. How does that work? So yeah, he's disconnected or left the server. So that's why it's claimed that he's out of the race. Yes, there we go. But yeah, those who voted no on Austin Call winning today, you were correct. He's not taking the race win. Rhiannon saying she could feel it in her bones. Could you feel it in your loins? But he was going to take the race win as well. So more and more cars have been through pit lane. So Pruitt and Stevens are in. Brannon's back in for that third and final. Oh no, he's not, sorry. Dalton Henson's in the pit lane. Brannon's already been in for his third stop of the race. He's actually battling away here with Mike Rinker. So he somehow has made the 3-stop work. Both of them, though, have now lost out to Jesse James after Mike's drive-through and Bailey's third stop of the race as well. Will McKellar running it wide up at turn 2. Oh, this car is struggling. Will McKellar is struggling up here. Cody Pruitt in behind, trying to nurse that car to a possible podium finish here tonight. As now, Kevin Winker's run it wide up ahead of them as well. So this is all happening in and around this upper half of the field. And the tight battle pack that's been formed. We've got 13 laps to go. 13 laps to keep your car in check and keep it on the road in a nice tiny position as Jesse James has made a mistake. What has Jesse James done? Why has he got a meatball? This will answer the question. It's up at the kink. Oh no, it's a big mistake. Top 10 gone, and that is a massive hit. A massive crunch into the wall for Jesse James. And this is going to be a wild, wild ride off the left-hand side of this car. See it get loose. Bang, bang. Straight in the wall. And that car has gone full Honda spec, full camber. And that is heartbreak. Luckily for him, he was right at pit entry. He was able to come in. He's fast repaired it. He's put some tyres on it. So he's now got the freshest tyres of the whole field. It's a massive mistake from Kevin Winker into pit lane once again. Nate Allen's in as well. So Kevin actually, I think, driving through pit lane that time. Blake Hullett's in. Oh, mistake here from Will McKellar. And McKellar's gone into the wall down at turn 8. Will McKellar has gone into the wall. Let's have a look here at what's happened to Will McKellar. And it's a picture perfect example of what his teammate Kevin Winker did earlier in the night. That car is now destroyed with a meatball flag. He'll drive it and nurse it back to pit lane. This will drop him a few spots, I'm sure. But it's an up and down night. And who would have thought that Bailey Brannan, after 3 stops in this race, is looking at a top 10 finish here tonight at Sonoma. If you told me that at the start of the race, I wouldn't have believed you. I seriously wouldn't have. Looks like Wingo from Cars. What a reference. So McKellar's in. He'll also take a set of tyres here. Blake Hullett's now got a black flag into pit lane, so that's a stop hold for him. So McKellar now trying to keep that car neat and tidy. He'll look to exit pit lane. There's Bailey Brannan at turn 11. So McKellar will get out ahead of him, but this has now dropped him down to P9 on the road after that single mistake down at turn 8. That's brought Justin Day up into P7 now, back where he started the race. Charles Rinker just in behind him as well in P9, or P8, sorry, at this stage. As Dalton Henson has had another moment, and this is now down at 7-8. What has occurred here for Henson to make such a mistake? So he runs it through turn 4 into what is actually turn 5 on this layout, but is 7A in terms of the naming rights. What the hell? What has caused that? Oh, it's a compression lock. He's compression locked under brakes, and the thing's gone straight in the barrier and into the wall. And that has harmed that car quite significantly. Trey Martin's had an off track just ahead of him here, but we'll see Henson come into pit lane now. What more can happen? 10 laps to go. What more could you ask for here at Sonoma? It has been chaos personified, struggles personified for every single driver as well. But the survival factor has been a major one. And keeping the car clean and under you. But this has been a real struggle for a lot of cars and a lot of drivers to keep these cars under them. And you have to wonder, does that come down to the driver ability? Does it come down to drivers not able to get comfortable with your setup or with the car track setup combination? Is that the case? What has occurred that has then led to these drivers struggling here tonight as well? McKellar with another off-track run, doesn't put it in the wall this time, but very, very close to ruining his whole race. But yeah, you have to wonder then, is it the drivers that are struggling with the setup? Is the setup then, you know, is there an issue with that? Or is it just that drivers having skill issues? Who knows? But what we're seeing is we're seeing a lot of cars off the road in the wall and just unable to keep them underneath themselves. Zach in the chat saying lack of practice is what occurred. I mean, that could also be a case as well. Zach is a bit of lack of practice as Jesse James, unfortunately, is now back in the lane. What has happened to Jesse James? Oh, no. Oh, Jesse, that is such a shame for him. Such a shame for Jesse James. Put that car on the wall. So Jack in the chat saying people struggling on this loose setup, it seems. So maybe that's the case. You know, a loose setup can obviously put some challenge to you as well. Zach saying lack of practice, so it could be a combination of maybe the setup. This is not quite comfortable for everybody. The lack of practice then as well, it might be biting them a little bit, thinking they could come into tonight and be okay. And then, yeah, Jack saying as well, it was manageable when I drove it, but could tell it was definitely going to be a challenge for some. And that, I think, has proven the case tonight, that it has been a challenge for some drivers out there on the road today. Dalton Henson now has a black flag as he's now come into pit lane. So Jesse James will wait to fix that car, but that's taking him out of a chance of a top 15 tonight after what was a great recovery drive after previously being in the wars, as well as Justin Day runs wide up at turn 2 and now allows Charles Rinker past him as well. 8 laps to go. The track temp definitely comes into effect as well, Jack Oz. So yeah, track temperature could also have it play a factor too, which let's look at the weather and just see what the track temp is actually. It's about 28 degrees centigrade at this stage of the race. We'll get you a much better view of it here. So 68 degrees Fahrenheit, 20 degrees is the ambient temperature. As wind direction northeasterly, 11 miles an hour. Cloudy conditions, humidity 75% at this stage of the race as well. Rihanna in the chat saying it could be, if a majority of people are struggling with the setup, then it would show the predominant problem. A piece of setup, not just skill. And yeah, I agree that could also be a case of the matter as well. Zach saying, what the hell is a centigrade? It's non-Fahrenheit measurement, Zachary. It's what the rest of the world uses to measure their temperature. Zero to 100. 0 is the freezing point. It's also known as Celsius as well. As we continue on, 7 laps to go. Freedom units. Yes, now they obviously measure their temperature in fried chickens. 0 to freedom. You know, they use they determine it by cold is ice cold beer and hot is fried chicken. That is the measuring stick of temperature for the US, it seems. As Austin Stamper battles here with Paul Harris. We also hope you're feeling better, Zach, as well. Hope everything's getting better for you here. We've got 6 laps to go. PRB may throw no weight, so we've spoken it into existence for him. Will Kern, 6 laps to go on the race lead at this stage. Great showing in the race lead as well. But yeah, let us know your thoughts. Let us know, do you think it is a setup issue tonight? Do you think it's a driver issue? Do you think it's a lack of practice issue? We're going to put the poll out there. And we'll get your thoughts. Was it car setup? Just trying to get up here. Car setup. Driver. Skill issue. Lack of practice. Or all the above. Your votes into that poll. Let us know your thoughts. Is it the setup? Is it the lack of practice? Is it the driver skill issues, or is it all the above? And when I say setup, I'm also including in that the track state as well. But yeah, let us know. Let us know your thoughts on what you think has been the cause of the issues tonight. Obviously, a little bit of feedback about those issues. That could then obviously then help improve going forward as well. But also gives an indication of what you think is the case, what you think has put together the pieces of this unfortunate run for a lot of drivers, and an unfortunate run in terms of them keeping themselves clean and tidy. I mean, the fact that Will Kearns kept that car clean, he's made a single mistake all night. The one mistake he made was he went wide at turn 3. He is still... Oh, it's Johnny's fault, that's right, Jack. It's Johnny's fault, of course. He's still lapped every car at the moment other than Magnus Anderson. So Will Kern has lapped every single car other than Magnus Anderson at this stage of the race. So that shows that Kern's obviously been able to keep it clean and keep that car under him as well. As Dalton Henson has now made a mistake, gone off the track, hit into the wall. That has been the hotspot of incidents tonight. Jesse James has also had it off track here as well. He's only just rejoined the circuit too, out of pit lane. So this is what has happened to Dalton Henson. Gets it loose over the bump once again. As we stated, it has been a factor all night for every driver that has made a mistake in that section. It's been at that corner, and this is what happened to James up at turn 2. Okay, he hasn't put it in the wall, he's just ran it wide, trying to keep the thing clean. And that's now becoming the struggle for him as well. But yeah, let us know your thoughts, what you think the main issues of the night would be, and then let us know what you think. Let us know what you think, what could be improved in future as well. Zach in the chat saying as well, don't get me wrong, it's a tough setup track combo, but we want to test these drivers. If you put the practice in and learn to drive in your means, you were going to be okay. That's a good point as well, Zach. And I appreciate the opinion about that too. I don't know though. I don't know where that lies in terms of, has it gone too far of testing them, or has it not? Have they just not put the practice in? Well, I don't know. I can't speak for every single driver out there. But that would then obviously become a conversation for future too of what has necessarily led to this occurring for some drivers today, for sure. But Will Kerr at the moment has got 2.5 laps of this race to go before he gets to the end here. We're going to end our poll and see what your thoughts were. 5 votes out there. Car set up, all the above, lack of practice, driver skill issue. So 0% of you think it is actually driver skill issue. You all think it's coming down to a lack of practice, lack of freedom units. That's it. There you go, Zach. Yeah, lack of freedom units. That's a big factor, of course, in measuring what could cause the issues for the drivers out there. But yeah, let us know. You let us know your thoughts. Even though it was only 5 votes, but still, car setup was 40%, all the above. Lack of practice, driver skill issue 0%. No one thinks it's been a skill issue error. Majority of you think it is either a lack of practice or the car setup has been a major issue tonight as well. We'll see, and I'm sure that some feedback will be coming from the drivers. It could be all the above, to be fair. Like a real balance of unable to get their practice in around the track, having some skill issues, obviously. It's always a factor of some skill issue. And yeah, the setup then maybe being a crescendo factor of getting to skill issues, or getting to then not being able to get practicing because they're not comfortable practicing in the setup as well. That could obviously be the case. 2 laps to go. It is a lack of jack. It is a lack of jack, Zach. That's right. 2 laps to go here out at Sonoma Raceway in the 3 stages of hell. It is a lack of drivers with butt parasites. It's another very good point to this stage of the race. And as everyone has been spreading out, I can tell you that there's been probably spreading elsewhere as well for a couple of drivers throughout this race. It's going to be the white flag though. Lap 50, final lap of the race underway here out at Sonoma. As they run it up through turn 2, Will Kern is in a strong position in his return to the field as a part of the wildcard entries for this season for the road course races, and this has worked out well. And not many of these drivers, you're right, Joe, not many of these drivers turn right on the regular, so that obviously also puts some pressure onto them as well. See though that Will Kern is just continuing to keep this car in positive position throughout this race. He kept himself clean. He made a single mistake, but that didn't destroy his car, and he was there to pick up the pieces of a disheveled and broken Austin Call, which took him out of the race back on lap 34. So for the last 17 laps, Will Kern has led the way. And here comes Will Kern around the final corner. He'll come and he'll take home a race win for the wild cards here out at Sonoma Raceway. And he'll do it a good half a lap further ahead of Magnus Anderson. Cody Pruitt is going to come around 1 lap down on the race lead. He will come home and solidify P3 on the road for himself, and a great run for Pruitt after some mistakes in this race. And then Anderson further down the order will sneak this car around Paul Harris if he can, although Harris is just trying to keep the car clean as best he can at this stage. Anderson, though, has only got a few corners left to run before he gets to the checkered flag here out at Sonoma Raceway. He wasn't close enough to take the race win. But what he did do was he's put himself to the lead of the drivers in the regular season here tonight for Sonoma. And a great result, P2 for Anderson. Another podium for him this season. It shows he can do it on the road course as well. Rob Stevens Jr., Brian Day, they'll make up the top 5 to Nick Mercereau, Charles Rinker, Justin Day, Bailey Brannon, and Will McKellar. The top 10. What a drive for Bailey Brannon, by the way. 3-stop race. Up 7 into P9. That's a great result there for Brannon as he'll cross the line this time by. It was a chaotic, disheveled field. It was a contaminated field at the end of the race with a lot of cars a lap down, a lot of cars all around the circuit. And that's shown some struggle for them throughout this race as well. We'll get your provisional race results up, and then we'll chat to our podium finishers here this evening. It was Will Kern winning this one ahead of Magnus Anderson and Cody Pruitt on the podium as well. Mark Rinker, most positions gained tonight. Austin Cole led the most laps. Didn't take on the race win though after he took the fastest lap and the pole position as well. Could not get the quad for himself after 50 laps in this race. 4 green flag lead changes out there as well. Rob Stevens Jr., Brian Day, the top 5. To Nick Mercereau, Charles Rinker, Justin Day, Bailey Brannon, Will McKellar. Inside the top 10, it was Mark Rinker to Steve Scarborough, Kevin Winker, Trey Martin, John Day. Then the top 15, Paul Harris ahead of Austin Stamper, Jesse James, Blake Hullett, and Nate Owen makes up the top 20 cars on the order here this evening. And behind them it was Dalton Henson, Austin Cole, and Zach Smathers. Never got this race started, but he did join the session just to check out how things were going for a lot of drivers out there as well. But we'll have a quick chat and a quick call with our podium finishers here today. And we will start out once we get to the green flag. Let me find an appropriate lap here for the B-roll. There we go. We'll start it out with P3 on the road here this evening in Cody Pruitt. Cody, welcome in. P3 on the road. A good result for you in that target entry. You did have a couple of hits tonight, a couple of mistakes, but managed to keep your car clean to the end of the race to come home on the podium. How does it feel to solidify that one with only one regular season driver in Magnus Anderson ahead of you here tonight? You were technically P2 for those regular season drivers, with Kern being a wild card driver. How does it feel to get that one done here at Sonoma?
It feels good. Finally, I put the target out there because I've been a target, and it worked in the opposite way. So that feels good.
I suppose maybe it's like you called your shot. You wanted the podium, and you've got yourself a podium. You hit the target, the nail on the head. Maybe you need to keep the target livery for the rest of the season. It's brought you a bit of good luck this week.
I might have to. Yeah, I spun out twice, and I bumped Jonathan Day. I want to apologize to him, and I was carrying a little too much speed around there.
Well, what I would say as well is though, Cody, in that moment, from how we watched it, if either he's brake checked you or you've carried a little bit too much speed, there wasn't really much you could do at that moment.
Yeah.
Like it's a split second and it happens. So I would, to console you on that, I don't think there's much more you could actually do in that moment other than brake a lot earlier and anticipate when if he was actually going to dab the brakes, or if you maybe were going to carry too much speed in the corner. There was not much more other than that you could possibly do in that stage.
Yeah, I felt bad. I hate when it's done to me, so, I feel bad when I do it to somebody else, but...
That's fair. That's completely fair. Obviously, the next 3 weeks are going to be pretty important. Richmond Raceway next time out, Homestead, Miami, and Talladega to come as well. How are you feeling going into those 3 races? Anything you can maximise your points across those 3 races, set yourself up well for the chase at season's end for the final 5 rounds?
Honestly, with how this season's going, I just want to be in the chase. I've had a rough, Talladega, I can draft pretty well. We've got a pretty good drafting team. I think we'll be, top 10 at least. Hopefully, we'll get a couple podiums there. But, Richmond's going to be tough. It's, tight racing. It should be fun, though.
We'll see how it goes for you. Cody, we appreciate your time coming and have a chat to us. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Just, family and friends that watch. Really appreciate it, and you guys do a great job, broadcasting. We love it.
Thanks so much, Cody. Best of luck next week out at Richmond Raceway. We'll see how you go in the first run of final 3 rounds in this regular season.
Yep, I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Next up, we have P2 on the road today. It's another podium for him, and it's a good chunk of points for what was P8 in the championship, who will now get a good gain after tonight's race. Magnus Anderson, welcome in. Who would have thought back when you were in Canada for a good month that you'd be in such a good championship position right now? I mean, you missed a few rounds, used your 2 provisionals, and now you're more than likely hunting down, or if not within, the top 5 of the championship after this result.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we just gotta keep on getting good finishes, and this was the only track so far this year that I practiced, and I'm happy that I did. It was really bad a few days ago because I had the week off. I literally had to turn on the driving line to relearn this track because I was so bad. I couldn't get up the hill. Going from 1 to 2 and to 3, I couldn't get it right, and I'm happy I practiced because that definitely came in handy. And yeah, who would have known that I could turn right and left?
Well, we've got another road course to come in the chase, of course, with Watkins Glen. Is there going to be a bit of practice put in now? I mean, you haven't really got any time to put practice in for that track outside of practicing for the other circuits. Obviously, we've got no breaks leading up to that circuit. I mean, it's now a straight run to the end of the season. When are you going to find some time to put a bit of extra practice in for the next road course?
I'm not too concerned about Watkins Glen. I usually do the 6 hours at Glen every year in a GT3. So obviously you're running the boot and not the NASCAR layout, but I've done a lot of NASCAR races there, and I feel pretty confident. The main thing here is like with the repave, I hadn't ran this track with the new asphalt, and it's insane how loose it is compared to before. Like, just for example, the kink going to the start finish line, I mean, I was getting loose almost every lap if I'd really romp on it. And before, on the old track with the more abrasive asphalt, you had more grip. You could really just hold it flat out through there. Off of 11, you could really go a lot faster, and like going into 2 and 1 was a lot different with the older asphalt. So it was really just the change in the asphalt that kind of screwed me up. But to be able to get a second place finish is pretty good. Truthfully, it was probably a third, but Austin, something happened to him, so
put himself in the wall at the kink at turn 10. So that's what happened to him, unfortunately for Austin. But we've got Richmond coming up next week, Homestead the week after, and Talladega the week after that. How are you feeling going into those 3 rounds? And do you think you can maximise this now, maybe get another 3 podiums before the regular season's done?
Oh yeah. I'm really good at the short tracks. Like, I think that's my bread and butter. And going to Richmond is a really good track for me. I wish it was Iowa, but it's not. But it's close. So I'll be really good there. I've got definitely a different line than a lot of other people run there, so I'm feeling pretty good there. Homestead, you're banging the boards like you're banging your mom, real rough. So that's a track that I like too. It really molds to my dirt racing pedigree. And yeah, after that, it's really just, hopefully I go in with as many points as I can to make up the deficit when the points realign. And especially with the stage points tonight, it should put me in a pretty good position to chase down Rinker and hopefully get a championship this year.
Well, we'll see if it happens for you. We wish you the best of luck across the next 3 weeks, Magnus. Thanks so much for coming over to chat to us. Appreciate your time. Best of luck across the final 3 rounds of the regular season.
Yep. Free Hatchie, brother. Free Hatchie.
See you, Magnus.
See you, buddy.
And finally, we have our race winner this evening coming in as a wild card for this evening's race, Will Kern. Welcome in, Will. Appreciate your time. Congratulations. Race win after Austin Call ran into the wall up at the kink at turn 10. That then handed you the race lead and inevitably the race win as well. Was there anything more you could have done that would have challenged Austin tonight more than what you already were, or was it that was all you had out there and you got the lucky end of the stick of keeping the car clean here at Sonoma?
I kind of wish he wouldn't have wrecked like that because I thought I was gonna be able to possibly catch him if I had a better pit stop or something, and at least try to give him a little bit of a run for his money. But my biggest mistake was coming right after pit exit there. I came up the hill on fresher tires and just lost it off into the grass. I didn't hit anything, but I lost a good 7 seconds on Austin and gained 3 of those seconds back. If I wouldn't have done that, I think it would have been a really close finish to the end between me and him. But yeah, that kind of sucks that he got wrecked or whatever there, and it's fun racing with everybody here. I miss racing with these guys. I really miss this car. Gen 6 has always been my favorite, and yeah, hopefully next season they change some rules to where I can come back and race with everyone. But yeah, it was good racing tonight. Everybody was really clean. I came up on a bunch of lap cars. They were respectful, moved over for everybody. So that was good.
Well, you drove very, very well, which was great to see. We've got Watkins Glen coming up in the chase, which I believe allows you to race once again, obviously with that being another road course event once more. I know that there's conversations in the back end to make some changes to the iRating cap and see where that may lead into next season as well. And I'm sure that then there'll obviously be some conversations of, well, does that then allow you? It may not allow Austin to come back unless they make it. I think he's above now 4K, so you'd have to be up at around 4.5K for it to be a cap that would allow him to race again. But yeah, I mean, if it's between 3 and 4K for next season, that may allow you to come back, which would obviously then, give you a chance of fighting for the championship again, get you back into a regular seat once again, and fighting for the whole season. So we hope we can maybe see that happen for yourself. With your time away, though, from the series, I mean, what have you been filling your racing time with whilst you have been away?
Oh man, next gen. I got myself a next gen championship. I'm racing a couple nights in trucks. Chasing a truck championship, and I'm leading the points in a IndyCar series too. So I'm pretty busy, man. I like racing.
That's good. That's very, very good. Well, congratulations on your race win. We appreciate you coming to have a chat to us. It's great to have you back once more. We wish you the best of luck at Watkins Glen during the chase, when we hope to see you back again. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Oh, like always, man. I like watching the broadcast back, and I appreciate you up in the booth. The eyes in the sky, and appreciate everybody who puts on the league, and thank you for allowing me to race tonight. And I do look forward to Watkins Glen, and possibly next season. But yeah, I again thank everybody for the league, and anybody looking to join this league. They're freaking awesome, man. I mean, they're very clean, very good, respectful guys to race with. So
we appreciate that, Will. We wish you the best of luck at Watkins Glen, and wish you the best of luck in your other racing endeavours as well. And appreciate you coming back here for Sonoma, and looking forward to seeing what you can do next time when we head to a road course.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
You too. Well, that'll bring us to an end here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, for this race out at Sonoma, for what was an astounding race here for all of those involved. It was a fantastic fight and a fantastic effort for those that tried to put it into solidification of a positive performance here for the road course race of the regular season. We've got 3 rounds to go before we get to season's end and into the chase here as well. We've got the tournament to continue next week, the in-season tournament, when we go to the semi-finals of Richmond Raceway for Will McKellar, Zach Smathers on the B side of the block. A side of the block, Kevin Winker and Mike Rinker, the teammates as well. Is it going to be an all 3-2-5 racing final at Homestead, Miami, or can Zach Smathers get Infinity Motorsport to the final out on the beautiful sunny skies of Miami, Florida? Only time will tell. You'll have to catch the action next week to find out. And as we said, it's going to be a fun end to this season. Richmond to Homestead to Talladega for the season's end, and then the chase begins through Chicagoland, Watkins Glen, Bristol Motor Speedway, Phoenix Raceway, and then Charlotte Motor Speedway ends out the season on September 6th as well. 8 more weeks, 8 weeks in a row. We're going to be with you. Help support us by clicking the like button and subscribe, the bell icon as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on Infinity Broadcasting. Next up on your docket, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Saturday evening. We'll be going racing with the Sim Rigs, the V8 Veterans action for Season 28. The Split 2 action goes racing for Sprint Round Racing out at Winton Motor Raceway. You don't want to miss it. Myself and Brett Fisher in the booth for that one. And a massive shout out here, of course, to the series sponsors, Maconi Setup Shop, Rinker Construction Remodeling, Life Path Realty, serving the greater Atlanta area, Safe Electric and Plumbing, callsafe.com. Over at Blackheart Designs as well, you can find myself over on Trading Paints. Put your request in or message me on Discord and we can get you a paint made up as well with some very fair pricing and good turnaround on those deals too. And then, yeah, as I said, help support us here at Infinity Broadcasting, making the like button, subscribe and the bell icon as well. We're on the road to 400 subscribers. We'd love to get there by the end of August, so you can help us get to that milestone by helping support us in that manner. I've been Hamish Munro, though. This has been High Side Motorsports Season 2, Round 8 from Sonoma Raceway for the Sonoma 3 Stages of Hell. We'll see you guys next week when we go racing at Richmond Raceway for the semi-final of the in-season tournament. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
High pressure, high stakes. It feels like the whole world's watching every move that I make. Another sunrise, another warning, but I'm still learning how to hold the line, how to quiet down the noise inside. And the moments slip away when I forget what I need. So I steady up my hands, let the rhythm set me free. I remember to breathe when the whole world shakes me down. Clear mind, finally free. I won't break, I won't bow. I'm holding on. Yeah, I'm stronger than I seem. I remember to breathe.